This is my foot, and this is stepping in a giant turd right now. Take a listen. No, but we can break the tires loose. Oh, that's full slip there. Was right at red line holding it because the clutch was just slipping. Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And before you today is the cheapest version of the E39 BMW M5, a car that has become a legend and is rapidly appreciating, and it marks the beginning of me assembling the BMW Dream Team. Now, I personally believe that 2001 was the best year ever of an automotive lineup to ever happen in history with BMW, and I love my 740i Sport that I've sorted out and decided on a whim, since there's no real press coverage from 2001 where they lined up all these cars, this incredible lineup of cars. Really no photos that I can find at all of the 2001 BMW lineup that I decided to assemble it myself. So this is the first step, the E39 M5 along with the 740i Sport. I need to find a BMW Z8, which is really expensive, a Z3, an X5, and an M3. I believe that rounds it out. 6 incredible cars. I'm going to find them all in silver and assemble them for better or worse, or probably worse in this instance. Now, people love the E39 M5, probably the most of the lineup, because what it stands for. It's the last pure driving experience BMW before they ruin the cars with bangled butts, weird styling, the technology inside. The next generation M5 had way more issues than this in this car. Well, they have a lot of issues, as you'll see in a little bit, but 400 horsepower, manual transmission, a nice, relatively simple, well-built car when it comes to the interior and exterior, but mechanically, well, very, very questionable. This car has 160,000 miles, and it was the cheapest M5 sale in the USA. At least the cheapest running and driving one in the USA, which was true for me when I bought it, and true 3 years ago when it sold on Bring a Trailer. This was before Daddy Doug had started Cars and Bids and exploded E39 M5 prices, and that was back when we were only worrying about, well, who was sending money to porn stars out of which account. 2018 seems like a life ago, and related to that, sorry about the OnlyFans thing, really, really bad idea, but back 3 years ago, the previous owner of this BMW bought it on Bring a Trailer for $9,700, which is the cheapest sale dot on Bring a Trailer when you look at their sales data graphs, and he was a mechanic. So when a mechanic buys a car, they are usually very fastidious and take care of everything, and there's no issues when they sell it to the next person. It's absolutely not true. Now, he's very honest with me, said he didn't want to put money into this car because he's buying a house, but mechanics in general, they're not going to want to work on their own cars when they spend all week working on other people's cars, and well, there are a lot of issues with this thing. But he didn't sell it to me for the $9,700. He sold it to me for a few thousand more because they have rapidly appreciated. And the bottom on these is, well, $20,000 when they're all sorted out. Whether I'm still going to be under $20,000 by the time I'm done with this thing remains to be seen, but we are going to go to the Car Ninjas today and get an idea of all the issues. I'm aware of a lot of them, which I shall show you on a tour of the cheapest E39 M5. But before we dive into my latest prize to gather the Dream Team, I'd like to thank Autotempest for sponsoring today's video. Autotempest is the best way to shop for a used car, especially a hard-to-find one like the E39 M5, as it combines all the major listing sites into one search and even allows you to get picky by choosing the color, mileage, transmission, engine type, just like when you search on a normal car website, except Autotempest allows you to click one button to see every result from all the major sites at once. So it's a really handy tool that I use pretty much every day, and the fun act of searching for cars makes the BMW Dream Team possible along with CarTrek. So make Autotempest your homepage and get in the habit of searching for cars there. Of course, the next time you're in the market for a car, whether it's now, next month, or next year, remember to head to Autotempest.com and be an evangelist for the site. If you know someone who's looking for their next car, do them and me a favor, suggest it to them as well. You'll help them find a good deal and help us keep making content like this. I could also use your help continuing to find examples of the Dream Team, so use Autotempest link below to search for examples of the BMW Dream Team in silver, early 2000s, and post them in the comment section. Now, let's start a tour of this sad M5. So the E39 M5 was sold in the US from model years 2000 to 2003, and up until very recently, this was just a normal used car, a beater that someone could buy cheap and drive around unless it was a very low mileage example. And this is an example of somebody treating one of these like it's a 2000 Honda Accord. As you can see, the front bumper, well, unfortunately, the previous owner hit an animal of some kind and destroyed it. It may have been able to be fixed if it was just this crack here, but unfortunately, it also damaged this corner here. The chunks, well, they're completely gone. It's jagged, so the bumper will need to be replaced. And I think OEM replacements are over $1,000 for the front bumper. Aftermarkets are way cheaper because so many people take normal 5 Series and put on M5 bumpers, so that may be the route we go depending on how much is wrong. Now, the 2000 model year M5s weren't as pretty because of the headlights. They're just normal headlights. The bumpers were also upgraded in 2001. And back when I was working at the BMW dealership, it was one of my first jobs in the car business. This was the coolest used car to have on the lot. I remember the sales manager driving around one of these as, well, a demo used car until they eventually sold it, and I absolutely loved it. Never imagined that one would become in this condition. As you can see, the wheels are horribly dirty and curved, all 4 of them. The tires are pretty worn. There's definitely scrapes down the side. This impact strip has done its job, but the wheels. The paint looks pretty tired, but might be savable, and it's completely missing the rear diffuser entirely. I have no idea how much that costs. So inside of this M5, oh, look at that wheel. Wowza. Inside this M5 is, well, a little bit more of a disaster because somebody decided to paint the wood trim to make it silver or aluminum looking like the later cars or an M3, and well, it's about as durable as, say, an old Ferrari with the sticky button thing. I can knock it off with my fingernail, as you can see. So the wood in this is absolutely ruined. There's a lot of wear in the seats. They are dried up and hard and, well, buttons worn out. Broken trim pieces like this center air vent and, of course, some dead pixels. Still very legible in the odometer, 161,000 miles. Dead spots here in the infotainment system, which I could care less about. My sun visor is entirely missing on this side. I have no idea how much a driver's side one is going to cost, and unfortunately the issues are not skin deep, or they're not just cosmetic. Mechanically, this thing is quite, well, quite a mess as well. Just take a listen. Did you hear that rattle? That rattle is from a hot start. So the cold start is even more rattly, so this engine timing chain guides, a very common BMW issue, is, well, knocking on my credit card's door. Also, we are lit up like a Christmas tree. Airbag, brake, ABS, and traction control, so the 3 amigos are there as well. And unfortunately, there's other issues. But let's take a look under the hood. The previous owner bought this car with a disclosed oil leak, and he continued driving it for years with this oil leak. He was very honest and upfront about everything, but obviously didn't want to fix all that much. So it smells like oil is leaking onto the exhaust, and the engine, you know, actually looks pretty tidy on the surface. And one nice thing about this car, other than the bumper damage, it doesn't appear to have ever been in any kind of serious accident. I know the rear quarter has been repainted, but otherwise it seems like a pretty nice, original, honest car. It just has a lot of deferred maintenance, which I'm sure my BMW mechanic, the Car Ninja, will be very happy to point out to me as we head over there. So we have the rattle of death. We have obviously a worn out suspension. Unfortunately, the clutch doesn't feel all that great either. It slips sometimes, especially on the 1-2 gear shift and any kind of harder launch, and lots of lights on. But what's funny is we thought that these cars were total disasters 10 years ago until new BMWs, recent BMWs, have started showing all the issues they can have. And well, the E39 M5 seems like child's play in comparison. Still, parts are very expensive. Let's see if I can get it to slip. No, but we can break the tires loose. Oh, yeah, that's full slip there. was right at red line holding it because the clutch was just slipping after the tires broke loose briefly. So it is very fast, even in its diminished capacity. 400 horsepower, fantastic transmission, and thankfully these cars have appreciated. I say thankfully because in the past, when these cars were worth half of what they are now, you'd get something like this, and it would make no sense to fix this car. It'd make no sense to save it. It's worth way more in parts than it is, well, to fix it up and make the car usable again. But now, since even a car with mileage like this, 160,000 miles, is worth over 20 grand, it makes sense for me to drop a whole lot of money in this car. I won't get hurt if I spend less than, well, $8,000 or $9,000. But that's going to be a challenge for this car because clutch, the timing chain stuff, oil leaks, electrical problems, and cosmetic. I'm sure it's all going to add up very, very quickly. But well, that was a really bad slip. But even in this car's kind of sad state, I can see its potential. I can see why people love these things. So we're going to try. Oh no. Ninja. Oh no.
It's gonna be a love-hate relationship.
This is my foot, and this is stepping in a giant turd right now, unfortunately. Wow. The clutch slippage is getting quite bad on this thing, just in the drive over. And every time I start it, a lovely, lovely rattle from the engine. Every time.
Oh,
very bad.
Timing chain.
Yes. Along with oil leaks, ABS traction control lights on.
Wow.
This is...
Wait. What's with the interior? What's with this silver stuff?
Oh, you like the trim work there?
No, absolutely. That's garbage.
It's a sport interior.
Why would you do something like that?
I don't know.
Seriously?
I don't know. It's sad.
Wow. Well, luckily it comes out.
Yeah, just scratch on it. Scratch and sniff. But it was cheap. It sold for $9,700 3 years ago. And then I bought it for a few thousand more than that. So, not bad.
You know there's a reason for that, right?
Well, there's always a reason for that, which we are about to discover. Yes. Yeah. I think I know what you're doing.
I don't know if you know this, but to do a timing chain on this has to be engine out and disassemble the whole engine.
I did kind of know that because we did it on the 740i Sport and it was all in here.
Yes.
It was still a pain. But I guess
this one is way different.
Are you gonna look in this hole here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the timing chains. And you can see a guide?
No, I don't actually.
What do you mean? Like you can't see it, or it should be there and it's not there?
It should be there and it's not there. Just a shiny guide.
Huh.
This is one thing only, so let's go up.
Okay. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, but this is cosmetic. I'm wondering what kind of brakes you have in there, because look at this. It's supposed to be gray, silver. But we can always go dustless on those, as always. And we have to refurbish the rim. New control arm.
Oh, so something was fixed?
Yes, struts have been changed, so...
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Oh, new center link. I'm gonna remove those covers and see more.
The suspension didn't feel that tight, though, to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty tight in the back. It's good news.
That's great. So suspension's one thing that I don't have to do, which is wonderful.
No. We do have a tiny leak from the pinion here, which everything's going to be out, so might as well just take care of that. And the side, so we can rebuild the seals for the differential, no problem.
Oh, I'm smelling oil up front.
Okay, let me remove this cover real quick. Actually, what you're smelling is brake fluid from the line, from the clutch line.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
No, the valve covers are dry. I mean, like dry.
Well, it really doesn't matter, right? They're coming off.
Yeah. So, but no, it's.
What's this?
When they filled it up, right here. I guess they just serviced it.
Oh.
So, but we're gonna service it again.
So I guess I'll apologize to the previous owner a little bit, because he did do some things.
A few things, yes.
A few things. Suspension's tight. There was some servicing done.
We need to change this bushing. Just one, though. See?
What's that?
It's broken right here. The bushing, all the oil leaked out of it.
Oh, okay.
Which is no big deal at all.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Other than the timing chain service.
Yes.
And the clutch.
Yes.
And the 3 Amigo lights with the ABS traction control and all that.
Which we're about to scan right now.
We are plugged in, and were you right?
Yep.
So the module's bad?
I took a peek at the sensors and they're fine, so It's very, very, very common on those. So
you can rebuild them, fix them.
Yep.
This right here.
I'm gonna mail them to one of my customers, and it's gonna come as good as new.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that's not expensive.
No, it's $200-300, something like that, if I remember right.
Timing chain, $200-300.
Yeah, 5-6 grand, something like that.
All right, so just added up what you saw there. I'm sure there'll be more as we dig into this thing. But you said $5 grand on this?
At least, yeah. It's 50-hour labor to do that.
And there were those things that were broken and leaking in the suspension.
Yes, the bushing, that's pretty cheap. We have rear tires. We're gonna go dust test on the brakes.
So that $5,000 included a clutch in there?
The labor is included in there, not the part.
Great. So now we're at 6, 7. Plus,
it's gonna be right around 7.
$7,000 plus cosmetic issues, I imagine.
Yes.
The wheels, a bumper, a rear diffuser, the interior, a lot of detailing. That's gonna be another $2 or $3 grand.
So you're gonna be right at retail value.
I'll be there, but it'll be sorted.
Yep.
And then I'll be, yeah, like you said, right at probably what the car's worth.
You're saving a gorgeous car, so.
It is.
It's one of my favorite M cars.
It is a hoopty rescue Michigan. You were being a good salesman for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were able to bring back the 740i. It looks gorgeous now. It wasn't as bad as this, but I mean, this isn't. It's not a goner.
Nope, not yet. Nope.
Okay.
We'll bring it back to life.
Well, I guess I'll come back when the engine's coming out and get to see these lovely guides. BMWs. Thanks for watching.